This is my response to what's happening politically inside of the United States right now. We have the Democrats, mainstream media, and establishment going batshit crazy over a Donald Trump tweet, which they think will impeach him. Meanwhile, Donald Trump is doing nothing in his favor by throwing Fox News underneath the bus, which in return is then throwing Judge Andrew Napolitano underneath the bus, and he's not even defending himself clearly. And he's not even doing himself any justice, but making the situation worse. So while that's happening, that other moronic, useless, pointless debate happening in American politics, I want to focus on what I know best, and that's international politics, what's happening all around the world, especially with the military movements, geopolitical decisions, and foreign policies all around the world that should be considered and discussed, since we are seeing really dangerous foreign policy situations unfolding in front of us right now. I mean, just 2 days ago, we had British troops for some reason go to Estonia in order to deter supposed Russian aggression. More saber rattling by NATO, the United States, and the United Kingdom, pointing their little fingers at Russia. For what? I don't understand. But it's pissing off the Russians. And then the Russians, for some reason, said, you know what? We're just gonna go inside of Libya. And they have sent their special forces inside of that broken state, which was previously very closely aligned with Russia and their previous leadership with Muammar Gaddafi, but was destroyed by US and NATO bombardment and support of rebel groups in that country, which have left it an utterly destroyed state and a hotbed for terrorists. And now the Russians are coming in, which many people are fearing will create another situation like Syria. The United States answered back very brilliantly by sending in more troops inside of Syria, which blocks the Syrian military progress against the rebel groups and ISIS, while also trying to do the impossible and trying to make the Turks and the Kurds stop fighting in that region. Meanwhile, Donald Trump invited the Turks to fight alongside of them, which makes no sense at all, since the Turks and the Kurds are at war. And that makes no sense at all. This from the non-interventionist president, who is now also continuing the secret drone war, who on March 13th decided to hand over that incredible power in order to assassinate anyone in the world at any moment through a flying frickin' robot to the CIA, which is the epitome of the deep state, which he was supposed to be having a fight with. And then on March 18th, there was a military strike that many people are pointing the finger at the United States for doing, that bombed a mosque inside of Syria that killed 40 innocent civilians. Israel didn't want to miss out on this crazy, chaotic, insane, confusing situation inside of Syria, so they sent in their fighter jets in order to attack a Lebanese militia that was coming in through Syria in order to fight along the Syrian government to defeat radical Islamic terrorists and the rebel groups, to which the Syrian government responded by turning on their air defenses and shooting down one Israeli jet while damaging a second one. And now the international world and Israel are freaking out because a country decided that they would defend themselves from foreign jets coming into their country and bombing their land, and the military forces working with them to get rid of the rebel groups and radical Islamic terrorists. Now it's important to know, Israel has been doing this to Syria for a number of years now during the civil war, and Syria has not responded until now, saying enough is enough, and the Israelis are like, what? We can't do what we want? And it's like, dude, you know, like, you can't kick somebody and expect not to get kicked back. So the Russians are stepping in, and they just summoned the Israeli ambassador over these recent airstrikes, and they sent a message to Israel saying that no longer will Israel have the freedom to act over Syria, creating a very dangerous and tense geopolitical situation, since Donald Trump is so close to Israel and such a protectionist of the Israeli state that this may be the triggering moment that could set these two countries against each other. The Russians and the Syrians versus the United States and Israel, which just threatened to destroy all of Syrian air defenses, which are conjoined and working together with the Russian air defenses in that country. And oh yeah, our Secretary of State also said that there's no strategic patience with North Korea, and there could be possibly war soon with that country as well. So in these kind of global geopolitical situations, you could either cry or laugh. I'm choosing laughter, because as the situation around the world gets crazier geopolitically, in America, we're still talking about a dumb freaking tweet. If you agree with me, share this video so people know exactly what's happening all around the world. Because unlike the corporate, corrupt, criminal, condescending, cockroach, congested news network, or CNN, there's barely any mention of what's really happening all around the world. Except tweets and all this. Anyway, don't forget to support us on patreon.com/wearechange, which I want to thank everyone from the bottom of my heart for doing, especially now with YouTube demonetizing a lot of our videos without notification or even recourse. because your help and contribution is more important now than it ever was before. Thank you again so much for watching. Subscribe, stay tuned. We're going to have a lot more coming here your way on youtube.com/we are change.